The first time I saw it, I thought I was losing my mind. It was a Tuesday night, around 2 a.m. I was coming back from a late shift, my feet dragging, my mind a foggy mess of spreadsheets and lukewarm coffee. Our apartment building is old, the kind with creaky floors and a permanent smell of dust and something vaguely floral. The hallway on my floor, the fourth, is usually just a long, dim corridor with 3 identical doors. Mine, Mrs. Gable's, and the empty unit at the end, 4C. But that night, there were 4 doors. It was wedged right between my apartment and Mrs. Gable's, where there had only ever been a blank, plaster wall. The door was old, made of a dark, almost black wood, with no handle, no peephole, not even a keyhole. Just a flat, unnerving surface. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and even pinched my arm. It was still there. I cautiously reached out, my fingers tracing the strange, cold wood. It felt solid, real. A shiver ran down my spine that had nothing to do with the late-night chill. I fumbled for my phone to take a picture, but as I looked down to open the camera app, a flicker in the corner of my eye made me look up again. It was gone. The wall was just a wall again, plain and empty. I stood there for a good 10 minutes, my heart hammering against my ribs, before I finally convinced myself it was just exhaustion playing tricks on me and scrambled into my apartment. I didn't see it again for a week. I'd started to put the incident out of my mind, labeling it a waking dream. Then, it reappeared. This time, it was on a Sunday afternoon. I was heading out to get groceries, and there it was, in the exact same spot. Same dark wood, same featureless facade. This time, I didn't hesitate. I whipped out my phone and snapped a picture. Got it. Proof. I stared at the photo, then back at the door. It was real. My curiosity wrestled with a deep, primal fear. What was behind it? Where did it come from? I pushed against it, gently at first, then with all my weight. It didn't budge. It was as solid as the brick wall I knew was supposed to be there. As I stood there, stumped, Mrs. Gable opened her door to put out her recycling. She glanced at me, then at the wall where I was pushing. "Everything all right, dear?" she asked, her voice thin and reedy. I just nodded, muttering something about a cramp in my leg. She gave me a strange look and went back inside. When I looked back, the door was gone again. The disappearances were just as unsettling as the appearances. There was no sound, no flash of light, just gone. It was there 1 second, and the next, it wasn't. I checked my phone. The picture was still there. I wasn't crazy. That night, sleep didn't come easily. Every creak of the old building made me jump. I kept getting up to check the peephole, half expecting to see that dark, wooden slab materialize in my own living room. It was around 3 a.m. when I heard it. A faint scratching sound from the hallway. It wasn't the usual sound of a mouse or the building settling. This was rhythmic, deliberate. Scratch, pause, scratch, pause. It sounded like fingernails on wood. My blood ran cold. It was coming from the spot where the door had been. I crept to my peephole, my breath held tight in my chest. The hallway was empty. The wall was normal. But the scratching continued, louder now, more frantic. It sounded like something was desperately trying to get out from inside the wall. I stayed glued to my door, too terrified to move, until the sun began to rise and the scratching slowly faded away with the darkness. The door started appearing more frequently after that. Every couple of days, sometimes for hours, sometimes for mere minutes. And every time it was gone, the sounds would come at night. Scratching, tapping, and sometimes a low, guttural whisper that I couldn't quite make out, but the sound of it made the hairs on my arms stand on end. I was living on a knife's edge. I started documenting everything. I set up a small security camera in my peephole, pointing towards the spot. I wanted to catch it appearing and disappearing on video. One Friday night, I got what I wanted. I was reviewing the footage from the day when I saw it. At exactly 8:17 p.m., the wall shimmered for a split second, like a heat haze, and then the door was just there. It was seamless, silent, and utterly impossible. I watched the footage over and over, but that wasn't the most disturbing part. Later that night, around 1 a.m., the doorknob on my own apartment door began to slowly, silently turn. I froze, watching the brass knob rotate with agonizing slowness. My door was locked, deadbolt, but the knob turned until it couldn't turn anymore. Then, a forceful jiggle. Someone was trying to get in. I backed away, grabbing the heaviest thing I could find, a cast iron skillet. The jiggling stopped. Silence. Then, a soft knock. "Hello," a voice whispered from the other side. It sounded like a child, a little girl. "Can you let me in? I'm lost." My heart was a jackhammer. I knew no child lived on our floor. I crept to the peephole, my hand shaking. There was no one there. The hallway was empty. But as I watched, the mysterious door across the hall, which had appeared earlier, slowly creaked open, just a sliver. A sliver of absolute, impenetrable blackness. The cold I felt wasn't from a draft. It was a deep, soul-level dread. And from that sliver of darkness, I heard the little girl's voice again, no longer a whisper, but a giggling, mocking laugh that echoed in the empty hall. I stumbled back from the door, my mind screaming. The laugh faded, and the mysterious door slammed shut with a bang that shook my own door in its frame. The next morning, it was gone. The wall was blank. It was as if nothing had happened. But I knew. I stopped leaving my apartment after dark. I piled furniture against my door at night. The lack of sleep was making me paranoid, jumpy. I showed the video footage to my landlord, Mr. Henderson. He was a portly, skeptical man who looked at the video, then at me, and suggested I might need a vacation. "Old buildings make strange noises, son," he said, patting my shoulder condescendingly. "And video editing software is a powerful thing these days." He didn't believe me. No one would. The encounters grew bolder. One night, I woke up to find my TV on, displaying only static. As I watched, a shape began to form in the noise. A tall, slender silhouette with impossibly long limbs. It just stood there, in the static, watching me. I unplugged the TV from the wall, my hands trembling too much to just turn it off. Another time, all the faucets in my apartment turned on at once, the water running black and thick like oil for a few seconds before clearing up. The breaking point came last night. The door appeared again, but this time, it was different. It was slightly ajar. A single, pale finger was hooked around the edge of the door, beckoning me. And the whispering started again, not from the hallway, but from inside my own apartment. It was coming from every corner, a chorus of unintelligible, sibilant voices. They were promising things, wonderful things, if I would just open my door and step outside. If I would just come to them. Then, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but some morbid curiosity took over. I swiped to accept the call and held the phone to my ear. All I could hear was static, the same static from the TV. And then, through the noise, a voice. My voice. It was my own voice, but it was distorted, weak, and filled with an agony I can't describe. It was begging. "Don't open the door." My own voice pleaded through the static. "Don't let it in. It's a trap." And then it screamed, a long, terrible scream that was cut off by a sickening crunch. The call ended. I threw my phone across the room. I'm writing this now because I don't know what else to do. The door is still there, still ajar. The beckoning finger is gone, but I can feel something watching me from that sliver of darkness. The whispers have stopped. It's quiet now. Too quiet. I have my camera recording. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what that thing is, or what's behind its door, but I know it wants in. And I think, somehow, part of me is already on the other side. If you're watching this, don't ever ignore the feeling that something is wrong. Don't dismiss the impossible. And if a new door ever appears where it shouldn't be, run. Thanks for listening. I hope this isn't the last time you hear from me. Stay safe.